For this problem, we're going to work on simplifying this algebraic expression. I do see quite a few x squared plus 3's, and I would like to do some cancellation, but before I do that, I really want my numerator to just be a product. So this minus sign right here is keeping it from being a product and making it a little more complicated in the numerator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look on either side of that minus sign and try to see what those two things have in common so that I can factor them out. Well, as I said, we have some x squareds plus 3, so they have that in common. And they both have negative 6's. So we're going to factor out that negative 6, and we're also going to factor out that x squared plus 3. And we can only factor out 1 because they have only 1 in common. Then I'm going to see what's left after those two terms are factored out. Well, in that first expression here, after I factor out that negative 6 and that x squared plus 3, I'm just left with 1x squared plus 3. So down here we have an x squared plus 3 on the left-hand side of that minus sign. Now I want to look at the second thing over here and see what's left when I factor out that negative 6 and that x squared plus 3. So I'm going to be left with an x and a 2 and a 2x. Like that. And then all of that is still over that x squared plus 3 to the 4th. So we're going to simplify what we have in brackets there. So here we have negative 6 times x squared plus 3. And then here we have an x squared plus 3 minus, we have x times 2 times 2 times x. So that's 4x squared all over x squared plus 3 to the 4th. Inside the brackets, we have common terms. We have an x squared and we have a minus 4x squared. So factoring that, or not factoring, but simplifying that, we have negative 6 times x squared plus 3 times a negative 3x squared plus 3. And all of that is over x squared plus 3 raised to the 4th power. And now in my numerator, I do have a product. And so I can take that x squared plus 3 in the numerator, and I can cancel it with one of the x squareds in the denominator, leaving us with 3 of them. So let's see what we're left with here. This. We'll go back up here and simplify our work. So we have a negative 6 times negative 3x squared plus 3 all over x squared plus 3 cubed. And it looks like we can simplify it just a little bit more because we have that negative 3 there and that plus 3 there, so we can factor out a 3 or a negative 3. I'm going to factor out a negative 3, so we'll be left with negative 6 times negative 3. Factor out a negative 3 out of that first term, I'm left with an x squared. Factor a negative 3 out of a plus 3, and I'm left with a minus 1. And all of that is over x squared plus 3 cubed. So this expression is going to be 18 times x squared minus 1 all over x squared plus 3 quantity cubed. And isn't that much prettier and quite a bit simpler than what we started with?